That 4-alarm industrial fire didn't just send a mile-high plume of smoke into the East Bay skies. For a lot of residents here, it was the last straw in a long and rocky history with the Chevron refinery.
Boy, are they sleazy.
Richmond resident John Gordon at a recent meeting of the Atchison Village Neighborhood Council, just over the fence from the Richmond refinery. Andre Soto is a longtime local activist.
We live here. We know they're going to lie to us.
The fire brought up questions that residents have been asking for years. What does it mean to live next to the largest refinery in the West Coast? What else are people here breathing? Richmond resident John Kendrick.
Probably may not all be Chevron either. There's other stuff. Like they said, we got the railroad cars. We got the highway here. We got trucks coming going. But it would be nice to get a breakdown to understand.
Traditionally, these questions are answered mostly via primitive odor-detecting technology, the human nose. I smell something now. What is that? I'm in North Richmond, about half a mile from the refinery, with Denny Larson, founder of the nonprofit Global Community Monitor.
It smells a little like garbage. There's kind of a bitter undertaste to it.
Noses matter because despite a century of heavy industry in this area, there are only 2 official air monitors in Richmond and 2 in nearby San Pablo. They're both run by the Bay Area Air District, and the system is designed to look for averages over time, not specific incidents or where stuff comes from. To Larson, who lives in Richmond, that's just not enough.
We have a high concentration, probably hundreds of toxic emission sources in a very small area, and the wind is almost always blowing from where those industries are to where people are breathing in North Richmond.
Pretty soon, residents will know at least a little more about what it is exactly they're breathing. That's thanks to a new network of monitors being put in by the very company that many people here so deeply distrust, Chevron. The 6 new Chevron-run monitors are designed to pick up common industrial chemicals like benzene and sulfur dioxide. One of them will be here, right where we're standing, at the Shields Reed Community Center in North Richmond.
We're going to take a quantum leap into the 21st century when the Richmond system is in, because we will then be able to better identify what sources are.
Chevron agreed to pay for this new system, about $1 million of equipment, as part of a settlement back in 2010. But the project stalled. After the August fire, the pace picked up. The plan, says Chevron spokeswoman Heather Culp, is to have a third-party contractor, independent from Chevron, providing real-time results and quarterly reports to the public.
We are not filtering. We have nothing to do with the data. So I think that the community could really have a lot of confidence in this data because it's going directly from the instruments to the web.
Denny Larson says he endorses this system, but that the community will have to stay vigilant.
We have to make sure that they don't make any changes to the system or forget to pay the contractor or whatever.
But among those in Richmond whose job it is to keep the air clean, this whole plan is raising some eyebrows.
I was surprised to see the agreement.
John Joya, Contra Costa County Supervisor and Chair of the Bay Area Air Quality Management District. He says that because the monitors are being operated outside of government oversight, the results aren't certified. That means even if the monitors showed something toxic being released into the air, there's not much officials could do about it.
The Air District cannot utilize that data to impose a fine or penalty.
Complicating things is the fact that the Air District is also stepping up its monitoring in the wake of the fire. It's planning a new monitoring network around all 5 of the Bay Area's refineries, including Chevron. Denny Larson, the activist, says he's not worried about a conflict here. The more monitors, the better. Information, he says, is power. And he already knows what one of his first questions will be. It has to do with the giant wastewater treatment pond that Chevron uses to filter out toxic chemicals. Refineries in Europe often cover these ponds so that they can collect fumes that would otherwise drift into the neighborhood. But here, the ponds are uncovered. Larson would like to see that changed.
We can't get very far without data saying, look, that's a big source of toxic pollution. We want it covered, and we don't want those vapors coming into the neighborhood anymore.
So will the air monitors give residents ammunition to make Chevron change its ways? Well, Chevron doesn't think so. In fact, refinery spokeswoman Heather Culp thinks the monitors will have the opposite effect.
I think what they're going to be able to see is to understand, first of all, that there are multiple sources of emissions in this community. And I also think that they're going to be able to see that the air quality in Richmond is actually a lot better than they believe it to be.
Chevron says its 6 new air monitors, that's 3 on the refinery, 3 in nearby neighborhoods, will be up and running in a few months. The other system, those government-run monitors that could actually help set fines, could take several years. I'm Amy Standen, KQED News.
Support for KQED Science and Environment coverage is provided by the S.D. Bechtel Jr. Foundation,
the David B. Gold Foundation, and the Dirk and Charlene Cabsinell Foundation.